Rathdrum abruptly resigned over the weekend after deputies say he's involved in a domestic battery investigation. What we know tonight.
Oh my God!
Shocking video out of Spokane County shows a driver hopping a curb and chasing a child on a dirt bike in a neighborhood. Everything we know coming up.
Our toasty weekend has now transitioned into a toasty week. How warm it could get for us.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan. We start at this hour in North Idaho where Rathdrum Mayor Mike Hill abruptly resigned over the weekend. KREM 2's Regan Gallo spoke with the city administrator to find out what happened and the next steps for the city.
City of Rathdrum officials confirmed with KREM 2 News that they received the resignation letter of Mayor Mike Hill yesterday afternoon. Now, this move by the mayor is just one day after an alleged incident that he was allegedly involved in that law enforcement officials are calling a domestic battery incident.
In the letter, Hill wrote, "Please accept this email as formal notice of my resignation from my position as mayor of the city of Rathdrum effective immediately. I am grateful for the opportunity to serve the residents of Rathdrum and appreciate the trust placed in me during my time in office." Today, City Administrator Leon Deuce tells me the City Council's president, John Hodgkins, will take over the executive role until the City Council can meet in person to decide on next steps.
We still have 4 elected officials that are at the helm, and they will do everything in their power to make sure that it's still running the direction it should be running. But for a lot of us, we will work hard to keep things as business as usual during the absence of a mayor.
Law enforcement officials report that on Saturday, the Rathdrum Police Department requested the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office to respond and investigate a domestic battery incident due to a potential conflict of interest. Officials say the incident involved the Rathdrum Mayor, Mike Hill. The Sheriff's Office confirmed there is an active investigation. KREM 2 News asked for more details, but we were told no further comment will be made at this time. Today, we were also denied a public records request for the alleged domestic battery incident.
I am told it is anticipated that City Council will discuss next steps at their next meeting on May 27th. For now, I'm reporting in Rathdrum, Regan Gallo, KREM 2 News.
All right, let's get a check of the forecast on this Monday evening with KREM 2's Cody Proctor joining us in the Outdoor Weather Center on a beautiful Monday evening. Cody?
Well, Mark, it is gorgeous right now as we take a live look towards Lake Coeur d'Alene. At the moment, you can just see how beautiful it is out on the water. But a quick reminder, it may be warm right now, but that water certainly isn't, and that can definitely be a bit dangerous. So just keep that in mind, that it might be a little too cold to really be out there just yet. But for our air temperatures, we're at 76 degrees right now over at the Spokane Airport. Winds are coming out of the north at 7 miles per hour around our region. Moses Lake coming in at 88 degrees right now. Coeur d'Alene currently at 76, 75 right now for Sandpoint, where we're seeing plenty of sunshine, and you can certainly see it here on our satellite radar. It's been very quiet. We did see some clouds develop here and there throughout our region, but mostly it's just been cumulus clouds, and it's just been gorgeous outside for the most part. Hour by hour as we head into tonight, we're looking to see temperatures staying in those upper 70s for a few more hours. Heading into our morning tomorrow could kick things off in the low 50s for us, so it could be a warm start to the day. And we're expecting a high of about 72 degrees tomorrow, could be even warmer into Wednesday. How long these warm temperatures will stick around, I'll have more on that coming up in your full forecast.
Shocking video out of Spokane County showing a driver hopping a curb and chasing a child on a dirt bike in a neighborhood. Deputies say they were called out last Tuesday to the 7500 block of South Fruitvale Road. This is out near Cheney for reports of a driver honking and pursuing that child in a silver Ford Focus. No injuries were reported. Authorities later detained the driver who was reportedly trying to enter a stranger's house. She told deputies she did not recall the dirt bike incident, and they say she was highly intoxicated. That suspect was arrested, and prosecutors say charges are still under review right now. A 74-year-old Spokane man facing a judge today for allegedly making threats towards Mar-a-Lago, where President Trump lives, and the Villages, a big Republican-leaning retirement community in Central Florida. Robert Martindale is being held on a $10,000 bond. Spokane police say the Sumter County Sheriff's Office in Florida contacted them on Saturday morning. They had received threatening calls from a Spokane number, they said. With help from the Secret Service, Spokane officers tracked down Martindale. He allegedly admitted to making the calls and called them, quote, a warning. Police arrested Martindale on a felony charge of threats to bomb or injure property. His arraignment is scheduled for Thursday.
Your loved ones will be remembered through history, their names etched into a plaque on the grounds of this memorial. They will not be forgotten. You will not be forgotten either. You are etched into the hearts of this community.
The firefighters killed in the ambush on Canfield Mountain last June were honored at the National Fallen Firefighters Memorial in Maryland. Last week, North Idaho had Light the Night in Red Week, and that was to honor the service and sacrifice of Battalion Chiefs John Morrison and Frank Harwood. Flags in Idaho and Washington State still at half-staff in observance of the National Fallen Firefighters Memorial Service. Flags will be lowered until sunset today here in Washington and until sunrise on May 17th in Idaho. New details tonight on the explosion over the weekend at a Portland area athletic club. Authorities say a former employee, 49-year-old Bruce Whitman, drove a car packed with explosives into the building, dying at the scene. Now, new details from his mother reveal a troubling history of mental health struggles, including bipolar disorder and a possible schizophrenia, along with a years-long obsession with the club after being fired. A sergeant with the Portland Police Department saying the scene is one of the most complex they have faced. They also stated they are extremely lucky it was not a bigger explosion.
Everything we know now, we knew nothing. So the firefighters began to pull the propane tanks out, and one of the firefighters opened up a door, and a partially detonated pipe bomb fell at his feet. And so it is just luck sometimes. And what we had that kept some of these folks from getting hurt or a much bigger tragedy is simply luck.
Investigators say this appears to be an isolated act. We will continue to keep you updated on this story as we learn more. Well, today, the U.S. Supreme Court declined to hear NBA and former Gonzaga star John Stockton's COVID lawsuit. KREM 2's Caitlin Galloway bringing us a breakdown of the case.
Well, John Stockton's lawyer says he's disappointed in the Supreme Court's decision, but he's already gotten the outcome he wanted in this case. Stockton v. Brown centers around how much of a doctor's speech is protected under the First Amendment. The case represented, among others, two doctors who faced sanctions after writing blogs and articles that the state claimed were spreading COVID-19 misinformation.
Ultimately, the job was to force the Washington Medical Commission to withdraw the charges against him. And I guess, we'll just have to take that as the W.
In 2024, a federal judge dismissed Stockton's lawsuit against the state.
He got the Ninth Circuit to agree that when the speech is the treatment, it's unprotected.
The following year, the state Supreme Court decided the Medical Commission's policy on COVID-19 misinformation violates the First Amendment, and the state withdrew the charges against the doctors. Jaffe says the Supreme Court ruling came as a surprise since he thinks there are several recent decisions that apply to this case.
Gorsuch talked about it's the sword of Damocles holding over people that causes the injury. That's all you have to show. But they didn't do that. So why? I don't know. Maybe it's because of it's COVID information. Maybe it was too hot to handle.
I did reach out to the Washington Attorney General's office, and a spokesperson says, quote, it's not surprising the Supreme Court saw no need to review these obviously correct judgments. Caitlin Galloway, KREM 2 News.
Just about 24 hours. That's how long it took for a man to bear crawl the entirety of the Bloomsday course, all 12K of it. We'll bring you the final moments of his big achievement coming up in just about 3 minutes.